The human brain is the most complex and remarkable organ in the human body, serving as the control center for everything we think, feel, and do. It orchestrates our entire existence, from conscious thoughts to unconscious bodily functions. Despite its incredible complexity, the human brain is surprisingly compact. It weighs approximately 3 pounds and fits comfortably within the protective confines of our skull. What makes the brain truly extraordinary is its cellular composition. It contains approximately 100 billion neurons, or brain cells, each capable of forming thousands of connections with other neurons. These neurons communicate with each other through both electrical and chemical signals, creating an intricate network that processes information at incredible speeds. Electrical impulses travel along neural pathways, while chemical messengers called neurotransmitters carry information across the tiny gaps between neurons called synapses. This remarkable organ is responsible for controlling all aspects of human experience. It processes sensory information from our environment, stores and retrieves memories, generates thoughts and emotions, and coordinates all bodily functions. Understanding the brain's structure and function is crucial for appreciating how this 3-pound organ creates the rich tapestry of human consciousness and behavior. In the following sections, we will explore the brain's anatomy and discover how its various components work together to create the miracle of human cognition. The human brain can be divided into 3 main anatomical parts, each with distinct functions that work together to control our thoughts, movements, and vital processes. The cerebrum is by far the largest part of the brain, making up about 85% of the brain's total weight. This massive structure is responsible for all our higher-level cognitive functions. The cerebrum handles thinking, reasoning, learning, and memory formation. It processes language, makes conscious decisions, and controls voluntary movements. Without the cerebrum, we would lose our ability to think, speak, and interact meaningfully with the world. Moving to the back of the brain, we find the cerebellum, which means little brain in Latin. Though much smaller than the cerebrum, the cerebellum is crucial for coordinating movement and maintaining balance. The cerebellum fine-tunes our movements, ensuring they are smooth and coordinated. It helps us maintain our balance when walking, allows us to catch a ball, and enables precise movements like writing or playing musical instruments. At the base of the brain, connecting it to the spinal cord, lies the brainstem. This small but absolutely vital structure controls the most basic functions necessary for life itself. The brainstem regulates breathing, controls heart rate, and manages sleep-wake cycles. It operates automatically, without conscious thought, keeping us alive even when we're asleep. Damage to the brainstem can be life-threatening because it controls these essential functions. To understand the relative importance and size of these 3 parts, consider their proportions. The cerebrum dominates, making up 85% of the brain's weight, while the cerebellum accounts for 10% and the brainstem just 5%. These 3 parts work together seamlessly. The cerebrum makes decisions, the cerebellum coordinates the movements needed to carry them out, and the brainstem ensures our body continues functioning throughout the process. Understanding this division helps us appreciate how the brain operates as an integrated system. Cerebrum, the largest part of the human brain, is divided into 2 distinct hemispheres, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. These 2 hemispheres are separated by a deep groove called the longitudinal fissure. Each hemisphere controls the opposite side of the body through a phenomenon called contralateral control. To demonstrate contralateral control, the left hemisphere controls the right side of the body, while the right hemisphere controls the left side of the body. Now let's examine how each hemisphere is further divided into 4 distinct lobes. Each lobe has specialized functions that contribute to our cognitive abilities and sensory processing. The frontal lobe, located at the front of the brain, is responsible for executive functions including planning, decision-making, problem-solving, and personality traits. The parietal lobe, located behind the frontal lobe, processes sensory information including touch, temperature, pain, and spatial awareness. The temporal lobe, positioned on the side of the brain, is crucial for processing auditory information, language comprehension, and forming memories. Finally, the occipital lobe, located at the very back of the brain, is dedicated to processing visual information from our eyes and creating our sense of sight. Together, these four lobes work in coordination to create our complete cognitive experience. The specialized functions of each lobe demonstrate the remarkable organization and efficiency of the human brain. The brain's incredible ability to process information depends on specialized cells called neurons. These remarkable cells form a vast communication network that enables all brain activity through electrical and chemical signals. A typical neuron has three main parts. The cell body, or soma, contains the nucleus and most organelles. Dendrites are branching extensions that receive signals from other neurons, like the branches of a tree collecting information. The axon is a long projection that carries electrical signals away from the cell body. At the end of the axon are terminals that form connections with other neurons. This structure allows neurons to both receive and transmit information. When a neuron receives enough stimulation, it generates an electrical signal called an action potential. This signal travels from the dendrites through the cell body and down the axon at speeds up to 120 meters per second. Now let's examine what happens when the signal reaches the axon terminal. This is where neurons communicate with each other at specialized junctions called synapses. A synapse consists of three main parts: the presynaptic terminal from the sending neuron, the postsynaptic membrane of the receiving neuron, and the synaptic gap between them. Inside the presynaptic terminal are vesicles filled with chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. When an electrical signal reaches the presynaptic terminal, it triggers the vesicles to release neurotransmitters into the synaptic gap. These chemical messengers diffuse across the gap and bind to receptors on the postsynaptic membrane. The synaptic transmission process is remarkably fast and precise. Electrical signals can travel at speeds up to 120 meters per second. The synaptic gap is incredibly narrow, only about 20 nanometers wide. Each neuron can form thousands of synaptic connections with other neurons. This intricate network of neurons and synapses forms the foundation of all brain activity. From simple reflexes to complex thoughts, every brain function depends on the precise communication between billions of neurons through trillions of synaptic connections. Neurotransmitters are the brain's chemical messengers, enabling communication between billions of neurons. These specialized molecules carry signals across synapses, influencing everything from our mood and behavior to our ability to think and remember. Communication between neurons occurs at specialized junctions called synapses. When an electrical signal reaches the end of a presynaptic neuron, it triggers the release of neurotransmitters into the synaptic gap. These chemical messengers are stored in tiny vesicles within the presynaptic neuron. When released, they cross the synaptic gap and bind to specific receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, transmitting the signal. Different neurotransmitters have distinct effects on brain function. Let's explore the major neurotransmitters and their specific roles in regulating our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Dopamine is often called the reward neurotransmitter. It plays a crucial role in motivation, pleasure, and the brain's reward system. Dopamine also helps control movement and is deficient in Parkinson's disease. Serotonin is the mood stabilizer. It regulates emotional well-being, sleep patterns, and appetite. Low serotonin levels are associated with depression, while balanced levels promote feelings of happiness and calm. The brain maintains a delicate balance between excitation and inhibition. Glutamate is the main excitatory neurotransmitter, increasing neural activity and enabling learning and memory. GABA is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, calming neural activity and preventing overstimulation. Several other neurotransmitters play vital roles in brain function. Acetylcholine is essential for memory formation and learning. Norepinephrine keeps us alert and focused. Endorphins are the body's natural painkillers, creating feelings of well-being during exercise or stress. Neurotransmitter imbalances can significantly impact brain function and mental health. Understanding these chemical messengers helps explain conditions like depression, anxiety, ADHD, and Parkinson's disease. Modern treatments often work by adjusting neurotransmitter levels to restore proper brain function. Brain plasticity is one of the most remarkable features of the human brain. It refers to the brain's extraordinary ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout our entire lives. Unlike what scientists once believed, the brain is not a fixed, unchanging organ. Instead, it continuously adapts, learns, and rewires itself based on our experiences, thoughts, and behaviors. When we learn new skills or practice existing ones, specific neural pathways become stronger and more efficient. Watch as repeated practice strengthens the connections in our brain. Brain plasticity is crucial for recovery from injury. When one area of the brain is damaged, other regions can adapt and take over some of its functions by forming new neural pathways. Several key factors can enhance brain plasticity throughout our lives. Learning new skills and having novel experiences stimulates the formation of new neural connections. Physical exercise is another powerful enhancer of brain plasticity. It increases blood flow to the brain and promotes the growth of new neurons and connections. Environmental stimulation, including social interaction, challenging activities, and exposure to new environments, also promotes brain plasticity and cognitive flexibility. Brain plasticity is the foundation of lifelong learning and recovery. By understanding and harnessing this remarkable ability, we can continue to grow, adapt, and overcome challenges throughout our lives. Brain imaging techniques have revolutionized our ability to see inside the living brain. These powerful tools allow scientists and doctors to visualize both the structure and function of the brain without invasive procedures. Magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, uses powerful magnetic fields and radio waves to create detailed images of brain structure. MRI excels at showing the anatomy of the brain with incredible precision. Functional MRI, or fMRI, measures brain activity by detecting changes in blood flow. When brain regions are active, they require more oxygen, and fMRI can detect these changes in real time. Electroencephalography, or EEG, measures electrical activity in the brain using electrodes placed on the scalp. EEG provides excellent temporal resolution, showing brain waves in milliseconds. Positron emission tomography, or PET-T, uses radioactive tracers to measure metabolic activity in the brain. PET scans can show how the brain uses glucose and other substances, revealing areas of high or low activity. Each imaging technique provides unique insights into the brain. MRI shows detailed anatomy, fMRI reveals brain activity, EEG captures electrical signals with precise timing, and PET displays metabolic processes. Together, these techniques give us a comprehensive view of the living brain. Maintaining brain health is essential for cognitive function, memory, and overall quality of life. Research shows that lifestyle choices significantly impact brain health throughout our lives. Here are 5 evidence-based strategies to keep your brain healthy and functioning optimally. First, prioritize quality sleep. Adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal brain function. During sleep, your brain clears toxins, consolidates memories, and repairs neural connections. Second, fuel your brain with proper nutrition. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and whole foods supports brain health. Foods like fish, berries, nuts, and leafy greens provide essential nutrients for cognitive function. Third, engage in regular physical exercise. Just 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week can increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, by up to 30%. This protein promotes the growth of new brain cells and strengthens neural connections. Fourth, challenge your brain with mental stimulation. Learning new skills, solving puzzles, reading, and engaging in complex activities create new neural pathways and strengthen existing ones. This cognitive reserve helps protect against age-related decline. Finally, manage stress effectively. Chronic stress releases cortisol, which can damage brain cells and impair memory. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, yoga, and mindfulness can reduce stress hormones and promote brain health. By implementing these 5 strategies, quality sleep, proper nutrition, regular exercise, mental stimulation, and stress management, you can significantly improve your brain health and cognitive function. Research shows that people who follow these practices have a 35% lower risk of cognitive decline and maintain better memory and thinking skills throughout their lives.